York Mets Nation, and welcome to the Bat Cave. I'm your host, the Bat Frie, Kenny Fry. How you doing? Freaking November. It's 30-some degrees. It's freaking freezing out there. Sucks. It's officially kicking into winter weather here. 30-plus degrees. I know out there, our boy Paul Spencer got a little bit of snow out there out in western PA. On that, got a comment here. Oh, there's our boy Adam Glenn. What's going on, Adam? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for checking the show out and commenting. I hope you're staying warm in the mean streets of Pottsville, Pennsylvania. There's our boy Paul. So let's go back, Cave Nation. It's snowing outside. Ugh. Man, I'll tell you what, it was just 80 degrees a few days ago. Unbelievable. It's Pennsylvania. That's what it is. And the wonderful Eileen. What is going on, Eileen? You know what day it is. It's Hump Day! Hump Day! Hump, hump. You got it. It has been a very, very surprisingly terrific hump day so far. My hump day started last night at 10 p.m. Basically, that's when I go to work. I move on to the next day. So hump day started at 10 p.m. I'm kind of moping around. I was kind of busy at the beginning of the shift, and I went to break a bit late, around 1:30 a.m. And I have a fellow Raider fan there, and he bestowed upon me some terrific news, which I will talk about this Friday, 10 a.m. on the Silver and Black Layers. So I never thought a loss so horrific as Monday night's loss could be so beautiful, but it is beautiful. I don't want to see anybody lose their job, but I wanted to see him lose his job. So Adam Glenn hates snow. Oh, I can't stand it, dude. I used to love snow. I ain't going to say that. Snow's all right. I'm not a big fan of shoveling snow, the heavy snow. Like when it has all that the liquid, a lot of water content to it. Not a big fan of shoveling that. Like the lighter stuff, not a big deal. The kids like playing it. I like playing it a little bit. The dogs act like goofballs in it, so I'm cool with that. So yeah. So I got a decent show for you. A little bit of Mets stuff. Not a whole lot going on right now. Obviously, a little bit of World Series talk. Then I have two top 10 lists. That's right. I haven't done a top 10 list in a while. Figure I'll kickstart that the old top 10 list here on the Bat Cave. Now that we're in the off season, and usually there's not a whole lot going on to fill a show. So we'll kick her off here with the Mets signing, picking up a reliever off of waivers from the Seattle Mariners, Penn Murphy, which kind of irritates the shit out of me, the way he spells his last name, Murphy. I mean, it's not his fault. It's his ancestors' fault. Or, I don't know. I've seen like clips. I don't know if it's factual or not, but people, coming to Ellis Island there in New York and, having their last names changed. Whoever spelled Murphy like that just really irritates the crap out of me. That's not how you spell Murphy. It's Murphy. It's Murphy, not Murfee. That's nonsense. Anyway, reliever from the Seattle Mariners just waived. Young guy, was a rookie back in 22. Had 64 appearances, I believe it was. I have it written down. I try not looking because I look like an idiot because I keep looking over. Try to remember what I wrote down. But anyway, 2.99 ERA in 2022 through 64 games. Pretty good. That's a pretty good ERA for a rookie season, pitching that many games. Last season, 16 games, did have an ERA of 1.29, but goes down with a UCL tear, has Tommy John surgery, so he's not really expected back until mid to late 2024. So this seems like one of those signings. I wouldn't expect him back. If he does come back next season, I wouldn't expect him back until like late season. So this almost feels like, with him being young, like a longer term, like they see potential upside on him. Hopefully, he's just as good as he was before he got hurt. as he hopefully he doesn't regress. That's what I'm trying to say. Without stumbling over my words and stuttering. The one big thing that causes me a little bit of concern when I was reading about reading the article, I think it was a New York Post or Metsmerized, I don't know what it was. But the walk rate spiked from 6.6% in 2022, his rookie year, to 17.2% last season. Again, a limited season, only 16 games played. I think it was 15 innings or something like that. So that's not really comparable, but with the walk rate percentage being a little bit higher, it's a little bit concerning. But then you have to look at a couple different things. Overall, it seemed like the umpires were shit last year. The pitch clock and stuff, which he should have already been dealing with in the minor leagues. So that's not shouldn't be a huge factor. And also, he has a full season in, so teams, now do have some film on him. Know what to watch for, tendencies, and all that good stuff. So stuff like that does happen. So it's a little concerning, but not too overly concerning. So hopefully he does turn out well, and turns into a good bullpen arm. Potentially at the end of the season, and we'll be fighting for a playoff spot or in a nice run towards the playoffs. Hopefully next season that's when he'll be healthy and come back and contribute in the bullpen, because we all know how the bullpen was this year. It was absolutely awful. And it needs to be revamped, it needs to be rebuilt. So it's a start, but again, coming off an injury, you don't know what to expect. So the one thing, I'll go to this next. There's some rumors out there that I've been reading online. I think it was off again. I don't remember. I should write that stuff down. Who reports this stuff? But I think it was Metsmerized, talking about a potential landing spot for Matt Chapman, being the Mets. A Gold Glove, three-time Gold Glove winner at third base. And Mets, we really struggled at third base this year with Brett Beatty, who I've not given up on. I haven't given up on Brett Beatty, but Brett Beatty's also very versatile. He can play other positions. So if you can get somebody like Matt Chapman, who's a solid third baseman who does provide a little bit of power in the middle of your lineup. Now, last season, only 17 home runs, 54 RBIs. So it was a bit of a down year power-wise, but he still produced really, really well for the Blue Jays. The two previous seasons, 2022 and 2021, 27 home runs each of those seasons, and his peak power season was with the Oakland Athletics in 2019. 36 home runs. So the power is there. He's coming into his 30. Next year will be his year 31 season, where he turns 31. So he's not, I don't want to say old, but he's not baseball old. I'll say it like that. But he's getting closer to that. I think he's closer to being baseball old than he is baseball young. If that makes any sense, it makes sense to me. But if that makes any sense, so he's on the back half of his career is what I'm trying to say, and so if the Mets would look to sign him, I don't know if he's a free agent or if it's a trade. I think he's a free agent. It would be like a four. Probably, I would think like a three-year deal, maybe. So something like that, 3 to 4 years. 4 years might be pushing it, but I think like a 3-year deal. See how it goes. And it'd be interesting. I think it'd be a good sign for the Mets. Really solidify that defense, which at times really struggled last season. There's times it looked really good, and there's times it looked really, really bad. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Moving on here. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of Mets stuff, but I do have some. So Matt Harvey in the World Series. So today is the anniversary of Matt Harvey pitching in Game 5 of the World Series, where the Kansas City Royals end up beating the Mets. I think it was 3-2 or something like that. 3-2, 4-2. I don't remember the final score exactly, but I do remember the game because that whole season, Matt Harvey was kind of up and down pitching-wise for the Mets. And throughout the playoffs, kind of up and down a little bit. We had DeGrom, Syndergaard, Wheeler, really going hard for the Mets. And Matt Harvey really struggled. Let's say when I say struggle, I mean like he wasn't getting lit up, but he just wasn't himself. He wasn't like the ace of the staff anymore. That's kind of passed him by, and he ended up having some shoulder issues, thoracic something or rather, issues in his arm. But anyway, going back to that game, I was really excited to see him pitch that game. So I'm like, I really want to see Matt Harvey do well. As you can tell, I'm a Batman fan, and his nickname with the Mets was the Dark Knight. So I was all into that whole thing. I bought in 100%, and he went out there in Game 5 and was awesome. It was absolutely lights out through the first 8 innings of the game, and Terry Collins was going to pull him out for the 9th inning. The Mets were up. I think it was 2-0 at that time in the bottom of the 8th. And so the Mets go back out there in the 9th, and Terry Collins is going to pull him out. And I remember I don't know if it was Fox or whoever was showing the World Series that year, showed a video in the Mets dugout, and Terry Collins talking to Matt Harvey. Matt Harvey, very passionately and pleading his case to stay out there to pitch because he feels like he's the best chance for his team to win and to continue on in the World Series. And I'm saying to him, let him pitch, let him go out and at least get one batter and see what he can do. Well, eventually he was able to win over Terry Collins. Terry Collins sends him back out, and the first 2 batters got on against Harvey, and they ended up pulling him, and the rest is history. The Mets end up giving up the lead and end up losing that game. So, but it was such a terrific game. That series, it's a shame it was as short as it was. They only won 5 games. The Royals ended up beating the Mets 4-1. But it was a good series. It was some really good pitching. The Mets had some big home runs, but if I remember correctly, they weren't home runs that with anybody on. So they were more like solo home runs, a lot like what happened to the Phillies this year. They had a ton of home runs, but a lot of those home runs are with nobody on. So, the damage is very, very minimal. And, the Royals were never out of it. I remember the bullpen was fantastic. The starting pitching was fantastic. Their bullpen was amazing. And they'd just get that timely hitting. They'd battle. At bats were never lost. It was just amazing watching that team play. It's kind of a bummer that they went, really south after that World Series. They've, played really, really, really bad and looking to, I guess, rebuild again. But it would have been, I think if that would have won 7 games, it would have been, maybe looked upon a little bit different. It's kind of a forgettable World Series. You don't hear anybody ever really talk about it. When people talk about Kansas City, they talk about Kansas City Royals being terrible for so long. Then you say, hey, they did win a World Series, less than a decade ago, about 8 years ago. You kind of forget that because it's so unforgettable. But I feel like if it would have went longer, 7 games, it would have been seen in a different light. Just because those 5 games were all close, they were all really good. It was what it was, and I think I feel like the lone win the Mets got was Syndergaard pitching, and I feel like I remember the Mets were looking for a little bit of attitude out there, and Syndergaard went out there, was brushing people back and really staring people down. It was the attitude the Mets needed in that game, and that was the only win the Mets got. So it was a bummer. That's Daniel Murphy's season where he just actually that whole season, the first half of that season, the Mets were not very good. Second half, they were okay. second half of the season, they were just awesome. They took off. Daniel Murphy got super hot throughout the playoffs. It was amazing. Just remembering the late home runs and stuff like that, and the crowd reaction is it was bedlam at City Field. Bedlam at the blank. I ain't gonna get into that. That shit annoys me. Anyway, you got a comment here from Adam Glenn. Should you sign Nola for 7 years? No, we should not sign Nola for 7 years. I wouldn't be opposed to the Mets signing Nola, but for 7 years, no way. I would go, at most 4. But to be honest with you, I'd probably go 2. There's his regular seasons haven't been all that great recently. So it's one thing to have a pitcher on your in your rotation, that's consistently good throughout the season and the playoffs. But if your pitcher's a struggle, it's like Noel's like a roller coaster throughout the regular season. There's some decent highs, some really bad lows, and a lot of in between stuff. You want somebody a little bit more consistent, and I feel like, I'm not sure what Nola's age is, but I feel like he's a pitcher that could be on the back half of his career as well. Injury history, I don't think he's ever really been injured all that much. I don't think he's ever had the Tommy John issues, but of course that always lurks. That always creeps up on pitchers. So you never know. It's not anything that's really predictable. It's kind of, you start noticing, dips in velocity and stuff like that, and the telltale signs. But I wouldn't go 7 years. No way. 2 to 4, somewhere in that range, I would be comfortable with. What do you think, Adam? Do you think the Phillies should re-sign Aaron Nola? How many years do you think they should re-sign him for? I'm not sure how old Aaron Nola is either. I don't know. I feel like he should be in his early 30s, like a 31, 32, but I could be wrong about that. Let me Google Nola. Aaron Nola. Oh, I ain't gonna Nolan Arenado. Aaron Nola. So he is how old is he? 30 years old. So he'll be going into his he'll be turning 31 next season. So yeah, I'd feel good about 4 years, to be honest with you. That take him to like 35. I wouldn't go too much past that. You'd give him 3. He's 30. Ask Siri. It's funny you say that, Adam. I was going to hook up Alexa. I have Alexa in the other room. I think Siri's an Apple thing. I don't have Apple. I have Android. I think Google. If I ask Google, I don't even know. Let me ask Google if that's how it works. I know I don't have Siri. Google, how old is Aaron Nola? See, he doesn't even talk to me. Oh, it is talking. He said, here he is. So that worked too. So I could have just did that. Thanks for the tip, Adam Glenn. So we'll move on to the World Series here. That's all I have on the Mets. Like I said, not a whole lot going on right now. I wouldn't expect there to be a whole lot going on until after the World Series. And, then really the managerial hunt, heats up. And, if we do look for a GM or not, I'm not really sure. Like I said, why you'd need a GM if you're president of baseball operations, the guy that's going to be running the show. Usually that's what the GM does. And I could be wrong. I have no idea. I'm not a baseball executive guru or anything like that. So I'm not a guru of anything. Maybe of like a bread pudding or something. A guru of bread pudding. I love bread pudding. Adam Glenn says it's football season. It's hockey season. Fucking football team sucks. Baseball team sucks. The hockey team is decent. So we'll say it's hockey season, Adam Glenn. And I'll be talking some hockey and football this Friday night or this Friday morning, 10 a.m. Silver and black layer from pigskin to puck. All right, so moving on from Matt Harvey World Series to the regular World Series. How about that? See that? So last night was game 4 of the World Series. Rangers commanding lead 3-1. Really took it to Arizona last night. The final score 11-7 wasn't even that close. They pecker smacked them pretty good. But I'll rewind it to game 1. I'll do a quick breakdown of each game. Game 1 went to Texas. Arizona was up 5-3, and one of Arizona, the Diamondbacks' strong points has been their bullpen. Their bullpen has been really, really good in the playoffs so far, but it kind of let them down there. Kind of let them down. Zach Gallen won, I think, 5 innings, gave up 3 earned runs, and Arizona was able to pull ahead. But then Corey Seager 2-run home run in the bottom of the 9th, which is amazing. Can you imagine hitting a game tying home run in the bottom of the 9th? That's awesome. Then Adolis Garcia just continues to come up in big spots. He hits the game winning home run in the bottom of the 11th. Ketel Marte he gave Arizona the lead, gave them the 5-3 lead. Tommy Pham had a home run. Ketel Marte also had a double besides that. So the usual suspects that have been playing well for Arizona throughout the whole playoffs: Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll, Tommy Pham. He has played really good for Arizona, as well as what the hell's his name? Christian Walker. So game 1 goes to the Rangers in a dramatic fashion. What a way to kick off your World Series that everybody's like, poo-pooing on. You have the Rangers and Diamondbacks. This sucks. This blows. Nobody wants to watch that. That's a pretty good way to start off your World Series. I'm not sure what the ratings look like, but you figure after game 1, more people would tune in, to check out. Hey, maybe we have something going on here. Game 2 did not go well though. Game 2, Arizona wins. Diamondbacks bounce back from that heartbreak to take a 9-1 win. So you figure Texas at home, losing 5-3 all the way to the 9th. The fans are dejected, probably already leaving when Seager hit that bomb, and then they come back all reinvigorated and excited for their team. Took game 1 just to get their asses spanked red by Arizona. So. If I'm a Rangers fan after game 2, I'm really concerned, because we got lucky in game 1, and then we got destroyed in game 2, and now we're going back to their house. So that would be that'd be very concerning to me. So game 3 went to the Rangers, a 3-1, a nice pitching game, nice pitching duel. Again, Corey Seager 2-run home run gave the Rangers the 3-0 lead. Adolis Garcia and Max Scherzer went out in that game, though. That's the big news out of that. Max Scherzer, he started the game, only went 3 innings, gave up a couple hits, 1 strikeout, a couple walks. He left with back spasms, I believe it was. I think it was back spasms. So he left, and the Rangers bullpen did really, really well. To take over, it's not easy to jump in when somebody gets hurt like that. To come into a game cold, somebody's hurt, you're not expecting to go in. Yeah, you figure you have a couple more innings before you have to start stretching and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a bummer for the Rangers, but Scherzer's a dickhead, so he probably deserves it anyway. But the one good thing for the Rangers is if these spasms pass. They could potentially use Scherzer in a game 7, in some capacity, whether it's a starter or a reliever or whatever, because he didn't pitch a whole lot of pitches either. But Adolis Garcia, that's huge because he's been so hot for the Rangers throughout the whole playoffs. Strikes out a lot, I think the one game against um, in the round before, who the hell did they play? The Rangers, Houston. I think it was against Houston. I think he had 4 strikeouts, but his 5th at bat he hits a home run. I think it was a go ahead home run or something like that. So the dude's been hot. He's been playing really, really well, and for him to get hurt, I think it was what was his problem? I think it was something with his side. I don't remember what it is. But he didn't play game 4, so it has to be something serious. Or I don't think he played game 5 either. Or no, we're only at game 4. Yeah, so yeah, he didn't play game 4, so it had to be something serious. If he didn't play game 4 of the World Series. Tommy Pham had 2 more hits. The rookie for Arizona, who got a lot of pub against the Phillies, for just for pitching so well. Brandon Pfaadt, he went 5 1/3 innings, 3 earned runs. So he didn't pitch terrible, just there was no offense for him. So game 4, went to the Rangers. Like I said, I was just talking about the Rangers. Came out, jumped all over the Diamondbacks, and just kept the heat on. Before you knew it, they were up 10-0, 10-1 then, and eventually 11-1 and 11-7. The Diamondbacks were able to put together a mini comeback there in the 8th and 9th innings. A couple of the offensive heroes, I guess you want to call it, or whatever, from game 4. Seager had another home run. Marcus Semien had a huge game, 5 RBI, 3-run home run, RBI triple. And I think he had a sac fly as well. So he had a huge game. Josh Jung, 3 hits. Heaney pitched 5 innings, 1 earned run, 80 pitches. That's somebody that the Mets were pushing to get last season as well. That he ended up going to Texas, obviously, because he's pitching in the World Series. So he pitched a hell of a game, 80-some pitches. So there is a chance that if there is a game 7, they could use Heaney, or even a game 6, with 80 pitches thrown. Ketel Marte had 3 more hits. He's played really well. Christian Walker, 3 hits. Yuri Gurriel, 2 for 3, 4 RBI. So, he had a 3-run homer and a sac fly as well. Gurriel did. So right now, the way it looks, if you're looking at World Series MVPs, right now with the Rangers, winning, you'd have to look, Adolis Garcia, Corey Seager. If it fits me, man, that's tough. I think Adolis Garcia would have to be the guy to get it if he comes back to play the rest of the series. I know could potentially only be 1 game left, but if he doesn't come back and Seager has another big game, they might go to Corey Seager, because both guys throughout the whole playoffs have played phenomenal in the World Series by themselves. By itself, they've both been on fire. So I would have to imagine if you're putting your money down on MVP, it'd be one of those 2 guys. If for some reason the Diamondbacks were to come back, I'd look really hard at Ketel Marte. He's had a huge playoffs, and the World Series he's hit really, really well. And Corbin Carroll has played okay in the World Series. He had a decent playoffs. Tommy Pham, has played well in the playoffs. But if you had to pick somebody from Arizona, I'd probably go Ketel Marte over anybody else. And I don't think Arizona's going to come back. 3 games to 1. I think that's pretty much it for Arizona. Just can they stretch it out to a game 6? Maybe make the Rangers sweat a little bit. We'll have to wait and see. Got a couple comments here. Nose is itchy. Scherzer's made of glass. Yes, he is. Dickhead glass, no doubt. I can't stand the guy. I've never liked him. I say this every show I talk about him. I say I never liked him. Even when the Mets signed him, I was happy. I was excited. But like, man, he's such a dickhead, though. He's a dickhead. Some people can't help it. He can't help he's a dickhead, I don't think. But you never know. I think says, they took him off the roster. Who'd they take off the roster? Scherzer? I'm not sure who. Okay, there we go. Maybe I read the next comment. How about that? Both Scherzer and Garcia off the World Series roster. It's his oblique. Man, that's tough because Garcia was playing so well. Eileen, do you think Garcia still has a chance to win the World Series MVP? I mean, Scherzer, either way, whatever. It's you don't know where you're getting with Scherzer. Like I say, he pitched 3 innings. He pitched okay. But, second time, third time around in the batting order, if he would have gotten that far, they would have lit his ass up. That's Scherzer in a nutshell right there. It would have been bombs away. So they might have been better off that he did get hurt. But the Garcia one, that does hurt. But a commanding 3-1 lead, they don't have to worry too much, I don't think. Stacy Northrup, what's going on, Stacy? Good morning. You can check Stacy out 11 a.m. on Sundays, the Big Blue Power Hour. The New York Giants football team. Who do the Giants have this week? Let me think. Oh, they have the Antonio Pierce-led Las Vegas Raiders. That's right. Good luck to the Giants this week. The one thing the Raiders do have going for them this week, Stacy, is that usually a team, after they fire their coach and they have an interim head coach like that, usually that team plays really well for the interim head coach, but we'll see what happens. It's the first time Antonio Pierce has ever been a head coach, and there's a talk that the Raiders might make a quarterback change, which I think they should, go to Aiden O'Connell. When they fired, I don't want to get into too much Raider talk here because I want to say that for Friday, but they fired McDaniels and Ziegler. They should have sent Jimmy G and Hoyer packing with them. I don't know, carried their bags or something. I don't know. Myron Green checking in. What's up, Myron Green? Thanks for checking out the show. Thanks for commenting. Stacy says Garcia and Scherzer are done for the season. Thank you, Stacy. I think says maybe I don't know if they ever give it to someone who was taken off the roster. I don't know, because it's not like it was game 1 and he was taken off the roster. He made it all the way to game 3. Most of game 3 is the 8th inning, I think, when he was taken out. So he had basically a full game anyway. So he just missed 1 game so far. It's a real bummer because he had such a great playoff run, and he just continued in the World Series. But if he's off the roster, it'd have to be Seager, I guess. Then, right? It'd have to be Seager. That's gonna be interesting. Raiders. You know it. She also says, only time will tell. It will. It will tell all. Yep. So as soon as I see his name, he used to be a linebacker for the Giants. And then it kind of dawned on me an hour later, the Raiders play the Giants this week. So I saw they didn't flex the Jets Raiders off Sunday Night Football next week. Not yet, anyway. I don't know if there's a deadline for that. I mean, so you look at the Jets and Raiders. I mean, they're not out of it, so it's not they're not 2 1-5 teams or whatever, or whatever. The Raiders sitting at 3-5. I'm not sure what the Jets' record is. I think they're probably 3-5 or 2-6, somewhere around that area. But they're not out of it. It is still not early, but it's almost halfway. And it is halfway, basically. It is halfway. But neither team is really out of it yet, but they have a huge hill to climb. So there is still some intrigue, but probably 2 of the worst offenses in the league, to be honest with you. Really, you think about it. The Jets don't score points. The Raiders don't score points. Hopefully that changes. Now we have somebody different calling plays, and they give a little bit more freedom to the quarterback. And hopefully Aiden O'Connell is the quarterback. So I've had enough of Jimmy G. I can't talk about the Raiders. The Raider talk is Friday. But I'm excited. I'm excited for the new era. So too late that like good. Eileen says 4-3. And Stacy says 4-5 for the Jets. I think, I don't think they're. I don't think they played 9 games yet. So they're probably 4-3. I think. Eileen says, "Adam, see what we do to Ken." Get him on tangents. Well, I'll tell you, Eileen, I'm so excited. I was so happy. I can't wait to talk about it. And I even thought about. Like maybe I'll just flip flop shows and do the Raiders show today and do the Mets on Friday. I'm like, no, I'll just, I'll stick to the schedule and do my thing here. But yeah, I'm a little excited. Hey, Eileen or Stacy, I get it. There's stuff that I put out. I type it, I hit enter. It's like, oh shit, I tried delete. It's like but it's no big deal. All right, so that's all I have for the World Series. I think Arizona will win the next game, but I do believe that Texas will close them out in Game 6. I'll be shocked to shit if it goes 7 games. If it goes 7 games, I don't know. That could be heavy Arizona because, like I said, their bullpen is a really good bullpen, and if they can get a lead, I know the series it doesn't seem like they, pitched all that well. I guess they haven't pitched bad. They've been kind of, we'll just say that. They've been, the bullpen. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do I got 2 top 10 lists. If you're just joining me, I got 2 top 10 lists. I haven't done this in a while. So I was trying to think of, what to do because I don't have a whole lot of stuff, a whole lot of Mets stuff to talk about right now. Hopefully that changes in the next couple of weeks. And like, how can I fill a little bit of time? Because I don't want to be off, in a half an hour or whatever. I wanted to stretch it out a little bit. And, I figured my ums and uhs only take me so far, or my blank stares at the screen can only take me so far that I got to add something, content-wise, I guess. So I added 2 top 10 lists. And what can I do? I'm like, well, we just had Halloween yesterday. Happy Halloween, right? And I'm like, well, last year I think I did top 10 Halloween candy. So I'm like, I can't do that again. I'm like, well, maybe I should do horror movies. I'm like, no, I feel like I did do a top 10 horror movie thing. I don't remember. But I'm like, well, here we go. I'm going to do the top 10 horror themed type songs. Now it's just they're songs that have like a horror element to it, not horror element to it. And that aren't really like, from horror films, or they're not, actually scary songs, but, then maybe the titles, is kind of scary or something, or maybe, maybe there's some sort of link to a horror movie. I don't know. It's just something off the top of my head. I thought would be pretty cool. I got a comment before I hit this up here. Adam Glenn says, will Max get a ring? Yeah, he'll get a ring. I think you only have to pitch like 1 inning, or you only have to play like an inning or something like that in order to be eligible for a ring. I think. I could be wrong. I would laugh if you did your top 10 rom-coms. I could do that. I could do that. I'd have to go back and investigate what a rom-com is. Because there's some movies that I consider comedies, but are romantic comedies or a rom-com that I didn't realize that might be so it's like like Billy Madison. Is that a rom-com? I mean, there is romance, right? Between Billy and his teacher. So Miss what was her name? Miss that Veronica Vaughn. She is one hot piece of ace, if you know what I mean. That's my Chris Farley. So yeah, between Billy Madison and Veronica Vaughn. Is that a rom-com? I don't know. It's not your typical rom-com, but it's one of those things. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? It could be. There's a fine line here, Eileen. So, all right, top 10 horror themed type songs. I'll start off with number 10 and work my way down. And let me know whatever your if you have a horror type song in your head, horror, not horror type song in your head, or a song with a scary title, or horror themed title or whatever, throw that out there in the comments and I'll read them off. So number 10, I have "Living Dead Girl" by Rob Zombie. I mean Rob Zombie, for real. But "Living Dead Girl," I'm a huge zombie guy. I like not Rob Zombie's all right, but I like zombie shows and movies. I like zombie stuff. Number 9, I'm going to go classic. The Monster Mash. You can't go wrong with that, right? Doing the mash. It was a monster mash. A monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. That's fantastic stuff there. That's classic. Number 8, "Raining Blood" by Slayer. I mean, just that opening riff, is everything. I can't do I can't do that. Number 7, I have "Countdown to Extinction" by Megadeth. What's more scarier than extinction, right? And a countdown to that's freaky. Number 6, one of my favorite Metallica songs, "All Nightmare Long" by Metallica. Number 5, another Rob Zombie, "Dragula." What a great music video that is, and great beats to that and stuff like that. So, number 4, "Bark at the Moon" by Ozzy Osbourne. You can't have a horror type theme type songs without having an Ozzy song on there. So, "Bark at the Moon." Number 3, "Enter Sandman" by Metallica. Scary dreams, nightmares. That's Enter Sandman's all about that. You remember the music video, the kid in bed and the big rig, bearing down on it, and all of a sudden the big rig hits the bed and the bed goes flying. Scary stuff. Number 2, "Bad Mood and Rising" by Creedence Clearwater Revival. I mean, whenever I hear that song, I always think of American Werewolf in London, and that movie scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. I see a pale moon rising. I see. I think it's good stuff. And number 1, obviously, is "Thriller." Just for so many different reasons. Classic song, Michael Jackson. The music video was phenomenal. The zombie stuff, the dance and whatever, and the freaky ass eyes that Michael had at the end always scared the crap out of me when I was a Michael Jackson kid, and a little kid. You have your Swifties. I was a Mikey. So that's my top 10 scary songs, horror theme type songs. Like I said, there's name, title, something in the song or whatever. We got a couple comments. We got Stacy saying, "Loved Chris Farley. I miss Chris Farley. I was a huge Chris Farley fan, and I used to do all of his mannerisms. And I did, even when I was working at my old job, there was the one mannerism I used to do in the aisleway for another guy. I used to crack him up. I can't do it here because I probably could, but then you're gonna get a crotch shot. Nobody wants a crotch shot from Ken. Speaking of crotch shots, we got horror, right? Yeah, it's hard to when I say horror. If the way I say it, like my voice, I sound like I'm saying horror, but I'm not. I'm saying horror, and I have to add that at the end. But then it sounds like I'm a car trying to start. No, horror, not horror. Horror, not horror. Horror. You know what I'm saying. Stacy, when I was a kid, for some reason, Hotel California. That's fantastic. Oh, beautiful. Well, there's always that one song that's not intended to be spooky or scary or have any kind of haunt in the title, and that still gets to you. It's I can't see it, but yeah, it got you. I'm trying to think of a song that wasn't scary that used to freak me out, but nothing comes to mind right now. Sometimes there's those songs that have like a weird like riffing a weird sound, like synthesized sound or whatever. Can sometimes, a theremin or something. They're kind of spooky. Eileen says the Chris Farley Chippendale sketch. Yeah, classic. Yeah, that's classic Farley. I guess some of I was watching a tribute to Chris Farley a while ago, or it says I think it might have been called "This Is Chris Farley" or something Chris Farley, and they're talking. I guess some of his former showmates or whatever the hell you want to call them, castmates from SNL said that that skit devastated him because poking fun at his weight and so you're taking a shirt off and all that stuff and just the laughter. Yeah, but I just don't understand it because that's how he made his living. Crashing, that physical comedy, crashing into stuff, and I don't know. So I never understood that part of it, but yeah, that's easily one of the funniest skits of all time. Patrick Swayze and Chris Farley next to each other, and the dancing, phenomenal. It's maybe that's what I'll go as for Halloween next year. Go as Chris Farley's Chippendale. Shirt off. You got to go authentic. I think I'd make Chris Farley look skinny. That and his van down by the river skits, yeah, they were hilarious. Hi, my name is Matt Foley, and I'm a motivational speaker, and I live in a van down by the river. That's beautiful. It's great stuff right there, man. That's awesome. Nelson, Amish Country Mets fan. What's up, brother? The Mets need to stop signing double agents. They need to stop signing Mariners. Isn't that where Gott came from? I think so. You missed my whole rant about Murphy's name being spelled weird and stuff like that. So, yeah, like I said, Nelson, I don't. The only thing I could think of, why sign a guy that's coming off Tommy John surgery? He's not going to be available probably till mid to end of 2024. Why sign somebody like that? It has to be because they feel like he can be a long-term help in the bullpen because it doesn't make sense. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Yes, I agree. 100%, Nelson. The Rangers do need to close it out tonight. I'm rooting for the Rangers as much as Scherzer's a dickhead. And, as we were talking about earlier, he's off the roster. Garcia's off the roster, which is a bummer. But just to get this over with and get the offseason, rolling so we can get some more some Mets news, get ourselves a manager and stuff like that, and start getting this ball rolling for 2024. I'm ready, especially with I'm sure you understand this. With your wife being a Raiders fan, we're ready. We're ready to move on from football season already. I mean, as great as this morning was, 1:30 a.m. finding out that they fired McDummy and Ziegler, sent their asses packing back to New England. They should have taken Jimmy G and Hoyer with them. But I'm sure that I don't know if your wife's a McDaniels fan, but I'm sure she smiled when she heard the news that they fired McDummy. You think you're actually rooting for the Reds? I guess you're what, a Giants fan? I think I know Chris does some Giants content. Chris from CPNY Sports. So it's going to be neat to see Antonio Pierce though coaching against the Giants. Just for nostalgia reasons. He was a really good linebacker for the Giants for quite a few seasons. All right, so moving on to my next top 10 list here before I get the hell out of here. So today, November 1st, is National Vegans Day. And I have nothing against vegans, nothing at all. I could care less if you're a vegan. I don't care what anybody is, to be honest with you. You have the whole pronoun gimmicks going on now, whatever. I don't care. I do not care one bit Uh, you know, but I'm not going to get into it, but I don't care. None of that stuff bothers me. I'm not, it doesn't occupy my mind more than a second a day. That's, it doesn't. Yeah, I don't care what you are. You be you, and I'll be me. So, so I figured, instead of doing top 10 vegan meals, I did top 10 non-vegan meals. So there we go. So I can understand that. And I figured most of my audience probably are non-vegans. So that's what I'm going to go for. Top 10 non-vegan meals. So let me know what your what kind of non-vegan meal you like, or even if you're a vegan, what vegan meal you like. I don't know. So top 10 non-vegan meals. Number 10, a meatball hoagie. Now, I like my meatball hoagies with mushrooms and cheese and stuff like that, and that's non-vegan. Cheese comes from dairy. Dairy comes from cows, and of course, the meatball is the cow. Number 9, chicken parm. I like my chicken parm with some pastas. You got the spaghetti, some sauce, and then chicken parm on top with some sauce. Man, love some chicken parm. Homemade chicken parm. Mrs. Frie, I'll tell you what, Mrs. Frie made chicken parm. I think it was 2 or 3 Christmases ago or something like that. A lot of work, but it is fantastic. It was awesome. Number 8, milkshakes. Again, milk, dairy, so it comes from the cow's titty. So number 8, milkshakes. I like, me personally, there's a milkshake shop probably 5 miles from me, the Freeze. They have all sorts of crazy type flavors. I like getting a banana peanut butter milkshake. That's what I like. The cup is just monster, and it's big old thick straw, trying to suck it through there, and your eyeballs are popping out. It's beautiful. I'm getting excited for a milkshake now. Number 7, a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. I'm not talking like a Burger King bacon, egg, and cheese, or a McDonald's bacon, egg, and cheese. I'm talking about at home, the English muffin or bread toasted, some mayo, cheese, bacon, eggs, or you can even go sausage, egg. I'm a bacon, egg guy. I'm not a huge sausage fan. But, bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, beautiful. Good stuff there. And, of course, egg, chicken, cheese, and cow. Mayo, egg, chicken. Number 6, turkey. Dark meat turkey to be specific for me. The dark meat turkey is so juicy and tender. I have nothing against the white meat stuff. I'll eat that all day as well. But turkey, dark meat turkey, or turkey in general, fresh turkey. I like the fresh. Thanksgiving's right around the corner. We're in November now, so get that fat turkey in there, and man, good stuff. Number 5, deviled eggs. I'm a huge deviled egg fan, and of course, egg. We got the chicken again, but I love deviled eggs. Go crazy with it. Do whatever you want. Throw jalapenos in there or something like that, or bacon. So that's good stuff there. I love deviled eggs. Nobody else in the house likes it when I have deviled eggs because there's an odor, if you know what I mean. Anyway, grow up, Ken. Right. Number 4, cheeseburgers. Of course, the burger, cow, cheese, dairy, cow again. Love cheeseburgers, big cheeseburger guy. Lettuce, tomato, onion, just cheese, mayo, ketchup, barbecue sauce. So many different things you can do with a cheeseburger. I love it. Number 3, ice cream sundae. I love ice cream sundaes. You got all that crap in there: bananas, nuts, these nuts, chocolate syrup, whipped cream, cherries, all that stuff. But of course, ice cream, dairy, milk, cow, titty. Number 2, this was hard for me. This was probably one of the toughest choices I had to make in a long, long time because these are my top 2 favorite foods actually. But number 2, I put I'm still second guessing it, but I put meatloaf. I love meatloaf. If I had a meatloaf right now, I'd be sitting here talking about meatloaf, eating meatloaf, and listening to meatloaf probably. I love meatloaf, and of course, meatloaf. You can have all different kinds of meats. In it, you can have pork, beef, whatever. Sometimes people with veal or sausage or whatever. But just regular old meatloaf. I made a meatloaf one time wrapped in bacon, stuffed with cheese. That's That's a vegan person's nightmare right there. And number one, of course, I have the cheesesteak. All different kinds of cheesesteak: chicken cheesesteak, regular cheesesteak, Philly cheesesteak, California style cheesesteak, Chicago cheesesteak with gravy and stuff like that. Love cheesesteaks, extra cheese, garlic cheesesteaks. It's awesome. I love cheesesteak. Of course, cheesesteak, beef, cow, chicken, cheesesteak, chicken. So, all right, let me catch up on some some comments here. All right, so we have Stacy with her confusion of WTF. So what the? Is it going to show? Is it not going to show? There we go. Stacy, WTF. Non-vegan. Today's National Vegan Day, but we went non-vegan, so that's what that WTF is for. What football team does Jen like? She likes no football team. So, a real quick story on that there, Adam Glenn. So, back in 2002, my wife, where she worked, they had a little gambling going on. They had every week they'd have football picks, and you could pick your team, and you could win money. So she goes, well, if I'm going to do this, I want to pick a team. And I said, well, go ahead. And she goes, well, I like that coach that the Raiders had, John Gruden. John Gruden went to Tampa Bay. She goes, I'm going to root for Tampa Bay. So, that's cool. I said, the Raiders, Tampa Bay, kind of a little bit similar. So, all right, that's cool. And, of course, history, we all know that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers destroyed the Raiders in the Super Bowl 2003, and she laughed at me. And she hasn't watched a snap since then. So, yeah. But she doesn't watch sports, unless one of our kids are playing. Eileen says, bacon, egg, and cheese. Hell yeah. I didn't eat breakfast yet, and I'm going to eat something before I go to bed. And it's not going to be bacon, egg, and cheese. It's probably going to be a waffle, but still. Eileen's laughing, which is good. I like when people laugh. Adam Glenn says, you love any good fat ass. I know you mean you love any food fat ass. I know that's what you mean. That's not true, but it's not far from the truth. Eileen, do you put veggies in your meatloaf? Yes, I will put onions, celery. I think that's about it. We don't go too crazy with the veggies in the meatloaf. I think last time, do we put celery? I don't think we put celery in. We've done it before with celery. I could do without the celery. I'd rather some garlic, some onion, stuff like that. But definitely 100% onion. Oh, I got to put mushrooms. Next time I'm going to put mushrooms in it. There we go. Nelson says Thriller. Yeah, Thriller was number one. I was telling my kids about it. They've never seen the music video. I have to show it to them. They've heard the song before, obviously, but my daughter thinks I'm an idiot. I was telling her about it. I was doing a dance and stuff like that. And, the whole Michael Jackson head, I can't do it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I look more like Corey Feldman than Michael Jackson. But you know what I'm getting at. But yeah, she didn't appreciate my dance moves, so I just kept doing it because I like to embarrass my kids. Who you calling a whore? Horror. I love it. That's good stuff. Stop calling me a whore. Hey, I call him how I see him. That's all I can say. I call him how I see him. Speaking of non-vegan, your farm, I'm sure I see, you got the piggies out and stuff like that. And, so I don't know if you eat those pigs or not, but that's what comes to my mind when I see your pigs. Apologies. Oh, you know what? I didn't even think of this song either. That would have been a good one to put on the list. Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters. Dun, 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 dun. Who are you going to call? Yeah. I used to love that song when I was a kid when Ghostbusters first came out. I guess when did Ghostbusters, like 85, 86 or something like that, 84, 85, 86. Just at the right time for me, being a little kid and stuff. Eileen says, my dad used to put carrots and peas in our. Ooh, I love peas. When we were kids, so we eat our veg. That's a good idea. My kids would pick around the little pecker heads. They pick around. My wife will cook something, or I'll cook something with veggies in it, and so my wife, she likes cooking with spinach, a lot, which is good. I love the spinach. She'll make pasta, with the vodka sauce with some spinach. I think it's fantastic. But the kids, they'll pick around and say, you can't even taste it. You can't taste the spinach. Like, just eat it. Just can't. They won't do it. So you're going to have brittle bones and you're going to lack muscle definition without eating your spinach. Ask Popeye. They don't even know who Popeye is. It's a damn shame. He's strong to the finish because he eats his spinach. He's Popeye the Sailor Man. But I gotta try that peas. I never. That's almost like with the peas and carrots. It's almost like a shepherd's pie if you throw a lop of mashed potatoes on top. Do you put ketchup? You have a ketchup like a glaze on top of your meatloaf there, Eileen? That's how we roll. You got the ketchup and like a brown sugar mix with I think it was ketchup, brown sugar, and mustard, maybe something. Or no, it was the last time we did it was ketchup, honey, and brown sugar. Fantastic, good stuff. Tomato sauce. I've had it before with the tomato sauce. I usually like when you go to a restaurant and I order a meatloaf, there'll be like a tomato sauce on top, which it isn't bad. I like it, but I'm the ketchup guy. That's how my mom used to make it. She used to make it with cornflakes instead of breadcrumbs. She'd steal my cornflakes and she'd crunch them all up and throw them in there, which I was cool with. If she's gonna use the cornflakes that I love so much and put them in meatloaf, that's a win. I get them both. It's awesome. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do our sponsor reads and our show read here. Show reads before I read the last comments and get the heck out of here and go to bed. All right. For sponsor reads. Let me clear my throat. That's that song. I'm going to start with the OG sponsor, the original gangsta sponsor here, Jason Fine, attorney Big Al. You can reach Big Al at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. J Fine Law specializes in motor vehicle accidents, slip and falls, workman's comp, and personal injury claims. They have 3 office locations throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. In New Jersey, the offices are located at 3 Greensward Lane, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. The phone number there is 856-209-5258. Then in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, it's located at 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900. That phone number is 412-365-8151. And then in the city of Brotherly Love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the offices are located at 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. The phone number there is 267-888-2980. That's Jason Fine, attorney Big Al. Tell him the Out of the Box Sports Entertainment guy sent you. Then Monkey Colt Coffee. Love me some coffee, just not right now because I want to go to bed. We have the OG coffee, the bourbon chocolate chip infused coffee. Fantastic. My personal favorite is the toasted coconut rum. Very good coffee, very aromatic. They also have a Sumatran medium roast blend coffee for all you coffee lovers out there who don't like the fancy coffees with a flavor and stuff like that. You want the regular balls to the wall coffee, and then you go to Sumatran blend there. That's good stuff. And they also have their newest blend, an organic blend. And I say this a lot. I'm going to keep saying it because I think it's funny. I don't know how to say the name. I don't know if I should say it like with Latino flair. Put a little bit of panache, a little Latino panache to it, or do I say it like a hillbilly? So I've been saying it like a hillbilly, like the Latino. I have to go like Peru, La Florida. That feels like Latino to me. I don't know if that's how I'm supposed to say it, or if I'm supposed to say it, like a hillbilly. It gets, we got an organic blend from Peru, La Florida. I don't know if that's how I'm supposed to say. I don't know. So I'm going to say like a hillbilly. The newest blend is an organic blend from Peru, La Florida. It's part of their global gourmet collection. Didn't get a chance to try it yet. I can't wait to try it. But I'm right now. I have I think a half a bag of coffee left, so I got to finish that off first before I make my next order. So after you fill your shopping cart up with all that coffee, head over to the swag shop and get yourself a T-shirt with their mascot Roderick on the front there, drinking his cup of coffee in his nice little red robe. Get yourself a coffee mug, a tumbler, the cold brew pitcher set, K-cup adapter. And don't forget the Paradise Rum Cake. The Paradise Rum Cake is really good, not too strong. Some rum cakes are really strong. Doesn't have a very strong rum taste to it, so it's good. It's very moist. And at checkout, use that promo code OOTB Sports for 10% off. The promo code, once again, is OOTB Sports for 10% off at monkeycoltcoffee.com. All right. So our shows for the rest of the week here. Tonight, 8 p.m., you have College Football Frenzy. 9:30 p.m., Dem 215 boys. Talking Dallas Cowboy football. I think they might have a guest on tonight. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll put it out there anyway. Because what's the worst that could happen, right? They don't have him. 9:30 p.m. special guest Chet Chesko from Philly Press Box, because it is Eagles week, so you have that tonight at 9:30 p.m. Then Thursday we have 6 p.m. NFL Weekly Pick'em, 7 p.m. NFC East War Room, and 10:30 p.m. Sixers versus Rappers postgame show. Friday 10 a.m. That's when I'm on next. Silver and Black Lair. 10:30 p.m. The Atomic Drop podcast with Crown Jewel. We'll be doing our Crown Jewel picks. I will probably, more than likely, 99% sure I will not be on that show. It is my work weekend. But they will have a special guest on this weekend, Paul and Cowboy Dave, talking Crown Jewel and WWE wrestling. And Saturday, 11 a.m., you have Golden Dome podcast. And 4 p.m., your Golden Dome post-game show, Notre Dame versus Clemson. Sunday, 11 a.m., Big Blue Power Hour. 1 p.m., Eagles versus Cowboys pregame. 7:45 p.m., Sixers versus Suns postgame. 8:30 p.m., Cowboys versus Eagles postgame. So, a lot going on there. It's going to be interesting to see how Mr. Paul does the Sixers versus Suns postgame while the Eagles game is just wrapping. And Eagles and Cowboys. His Cowboys game is just wrapping up. And if all goes well, then, shouldn't be too bad. But I know you got that big TV with a bunch of different stuff going all at once. So it's going to be interesting to see how he balances that one out. I wouldn't be able to. I'll tell you that right now. Got a couple comments before I jet. All right. She hated him. That's his wife. Nelson's wife hated Josh McDaniels. She's a Raider fan. Chris is a mush. I don't know. All right. Cowboys suck, Adam Glenn says. There we go. Oh, yeah. Pizza. Oh, man, I forgot. I didn't even think about pizza because of the cheese and stuff like that. I didn't even think about it. Damn. I love, lasagna. I love lasagna. There's sometimes lasagna could be like too much ricotta cheese and stuff like that. But I didn't even so many different. Man, chicken parm for Nelson. Yeah, I had that on the list. And meatloaf. I love meatloaf. Nelson, meatloaf. Do you have a ketchup glaze on top or a different type of topping on it? There has to be something on it. It's just I seen some with gravy and like Eileen said, a tomato sauce. I do a ketchup glaze. Just curious. You can check the Amish Country Mets fan Nelson out. Check him out on social media at the X, formerly known as Twitter, at Amish Country Mets fan. Same thing with YouTube at Amish Country Mets fan, and all social media. I think he's on Facebook as well. Same name. Chopped cheese sandwich. What the hell is that? What's a chopped cheese sandwich? Is that like a toasted cheese sandwich? Oh, I'm curious now. Oh, cheesecake, man. I love cheesecake too. I didn't even think of that. I just made a barbecue bacon cheeseburger and meatloaf. Oh, man. That sounds awesome. I am so hungry too. Yeah. Bacon, egg, and cheese is phenomenal. Damn right it is. Mouth is watering, drooling into my beard here. All right. So that's all I got for today. I'm going to go get something to eat now. I'm hungry. I'm going to get me some waffles and maybe some Cinnamon Toast Crunch now. I guess that's vegan. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is. I guess a waffle's vegan too. I don't know. I don't know what kind of animal is in waffles, but maybe there is an animal in waffle. I don't know. So that's all I got. So be sure, check us out of the Box Sports Entertainment, Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly known as Twitter. A little bit on Twitch. I think we might start leaning away from Twitch. We'll see what happens. We're also on the Instagram and TikTok. You know, the kids call Instagram the gram, or they might call it the Insta now. I'm not sure. I think it changes from time to time. Once the older folk catch on, they like to change it up on us. So, Out of the Box Sports Entertainment, got something for everybody. Think outside the box. We have some new shows coming up here really soon, and I'll let Paul talk about them more because I don't know if I'm supposed to mention it yet or not. So I'm not gonna. That's just a err on the side of caution. All right, so that's all I got for today. Thanks for checking the show out. I wish I had more for you. That's all I got. So, but it was fun. You know, the top 10 list. I'll continue with the top 10 list. Maybe not two of them, but every week. Next week will be my last show before I take a week off and start going every other week until the start of the season again. So next week I'll have another new top 10 list, and we'll go from there. Thanks for checking the show out. Thanks for commenting, everybody. I appreciate it very much. So be sure to check me out Friday, 10 a.m., Silver and Black Lair. It's going to be a good one. And check me out again next Wednesday, 10 a.m., the Bat Cave. Same bat time, same bat channel. Let's go Mets. See ya.